Hi, my name is Trish Lockmer, Director of Faith Formation here at St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, and I'm joined by our pastor, Father Mark Ressler. And today we're just going to kind of help you to extend the message a little bit throughout your week. It might be in a small group with other members of our community. It might be in your own family or maybe individually. However, this can help you to dive deeper this Advent is how we want you to use it. What we're going to kind of do is each week we'll provide you with a recap of the previous week's message or the messages that we've covered, and then a summary of this past Sunday's message or homily, and then just some practical ways that you can implement that, as well as a scripture maybe to ponder for the week until we see you again at our Sunday gathering for Mass. So with that, Father Mark.
Thank you, Trish. As you know, our series during this Advent season is centered on the modern family. Everybody who's a registered member of the parish should have got a card like this that gives us sort of an image of what the modern family looks like. It's much different than families when I was growing up. For example, this one here has the biological parents and their children, or the parents and the biological children, I should put it that way. Then it also has a single mother and a child, as well as a gay couple. So it's all kind of focusing on the variety of different families here in the United States today. And the reason we're talking about family during Advent is because for the last year, the Catholics throughout the world, and even here in Iowa and even in our parish, have been talking about family. There was a synod more than a year ago of Pope and bishops gathered in Rome to talk about family life and take an input from everybody that wanted to give input to the process. They looked at all that information they gathered, and they met just in this past October, and again in Rome, Pope and bishops and lay people as well, talking about family. So we thought this would be an ideal time, since discussion has been going on in church circles anyway about family. And what we're going to do is talk about family in 4 different ways as we go through each of the 4 weeks of Advent. And the first week of Advent, I'm going to be talking about family, signs of love in the world. And so when I'm taking a look at families vary a lot, as I already suggested. What is one thing that families have in common? I would guess no matter how we define our family, and we would say a family is about love, but not just any kind of love. As we take a look at the middle reading for this first Sunday of Advent, Paul's letter to Thessalonians, Paul talks about his community that he's writing to about love. They're having difficulties like most of Pauline communities are, and he's talking about love, which he frequently does. But the word love that he's using is the Greek word. Since the New Testament is written in Greek, Paul uses the word agape, which means we see a need out there, we respond to that need. And this is what family life, I think, is about. Everybody in a family has various needs at various times of the day or the week or the year, and families respond to those needs, whatever those needs might be. So anyway, we hope to this first week then to kind of use that as our main theme, and asking families, how do they experience love in their family life? And hopefully they'll say by responding to the needs that we see there.
And practically speaking, a year ago or so, I had the opportunity to have the Archbishop say my confession, which I was I was taken back by that he was able to do that, and he was in the same place that I was. And anyway, so I went to him for reconciliation, and one of the things that he said to me was, I obviously gave him said my sins and all those things that I've done wrong, And what he said was, the best way for you to grow in this area is to be for, F-O-R, be for the other people in your family. So that means putting yourself last. And that really, I think, after talking with Father Mark about this first week of Advent and the idea of love within the family, when was the last time that you did that? Put someone in your immediate family before your own needs. That's an obvious one if you're a parent, but the reality is that we have to do that every day for those people that we find among us, not only in our homes but in our communities. And so something to think about is just how this week and throughout all of Advent, but specifically this week, how are you being and showing love, the love of Christ for those in your family and in your homes? It might be as easy as not doing something that you normally do just because you want to spend more time with your own families. Maybe it's all getting off of social media at 8 o'clock to actually talk and maybe pray together. But you know what you need to do in order to be for the people in your family and to love them as Christ calls us to love, and then be that in the world. So something to think about. And Father had mentioned the second reading, the scripture. So the scripture for you to ponder this week, which is also something you'll see on the discussion questions that we'll have available for you, is from 1 Thessalonians 3:12. And it's, "May the Lord make you increase and abound in love for one another." So that's our prayer for you this week, and our prayer for you as you continue to go through Advent is that you increase and abound in love. So now, on your own or with your groups, we invite you to use the handout that we've provided on our parish website. Until next week.
Bye.